Saturday, Valentine's Day. What are y'all doing? I'm doing my normal thing. We're going to be here for 30 minutes today and every day, pretty much, just to get going. I had a couple things I wanted to talk about today. So before everybody kind of files in, I'm going to go ahead and preface the video. So if they're coming across the video, I want to talk about Valentine's a little bit because I was actually writing in my journal today and I was like, thinking about the whole Valentine's thing. I don't know. And I woke up today and I was like, "What? Why am I so happy?" It's Valentine's Day and, you know, by the traditional definition, I don't have, a person. I don't know. I'm getting dropped. Made me just kind of wonder about it. I was like, why why do we have to have a specific other person in our life to define our happiness, you know? It's like blasphemy, right? I was like, there's definitely been other people in my life who have made me happy. And I got me thinking, like, why? Why? What is it all about? Like, where does that even come from? I was like, how can you be happy and not in love? I think the answer is kind of in the problem with the definition of love. Like, love is like this complicated thing, right? It's like, I don't know, everybody thinks of it differently. I don't know, like, what is love to you, right? We have all these different words for it, different like definitions of it. So I was like, what if love is, I don't know, to me, love is about finding happiness or helping the other person find happiness, which is probably why, I mean, you can think of it as like, I'm married to one person and I am going to love that person more than anyone else. So I am going to help that person find happiness more than anyone else in my life. I'm going to find a way for them to be happy. What does that even mean, though, right? Like, how do you define happiness for somebody? You can't help somebody else find happiness until you know what happiness is for that person, you know? So like there's like what's the name of that Joseph Campbell, right? Find your bliss. So, yeah, a lot of people that's what they do. That's how they define their happiness is they seek out whatever it is that gives them true joy. Like what is their thing, right? What is their we used to say in the Mormons, what's their calling? What's their what's their talent? What's their whatever? Ooh, she's cute. Cute avatar. Avatar ogling 101 with Artivix Rob. Hey, Bellum. And yeah, she's cute. Oh my God, her name is literally Elle Bliss. What? And we were talking about Bliss, and L Bliss comes into the shot. What are the chances? There she is, L Bliss from Ukraine, I think. I'm like right next to her right now. There she is. The cute gray hair. I have such a thing for gray hair. I cannot even tell you what it is about that. And for some reason, every for some reason, like everybody in Logan, a lot of the women, they wear long gray hair and they'll put it in pigtails and stuff. It's like, of course, they're all taken. Yeah, they're all taken. Every time I see one, they're with a guy, different kind of guys. So, oh well. So yeah, so could it be that life is about finding happiness and helping others find happiness? Could that be it? Could that be it? Could it be that simple? I like that better than reduce suffering, like the Buddhists say. You know, the Buddhists are all about suffering. I feel like that's like, how the manifest people are always like, if you say that, what does they say? The universe doesn't understand no, which means if you keep saying something, you'll end up manifesting it, even if you're saying don't do it. I feel like that's what the Buddhists have done with suffering. Oh yeah, we must reduce suffering. We must blah blah blah. The only universe just hears suffering, and so let's focus on happiness. If we keep saying because finding happiness and helping other people find happiness, that's pretty much the positive version of reducing suffering, right? Hey, how you doing, apple juice? That's what I think. Happy, 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 happy. So how do you find happiness? You know, that's really the question, right? Glass half full. Yeah, I think that could be the meaning of life. I think the purpose of this is for me. You know what's so great about that? There's no religion associated with it at all. It's like you can just say, look, my religion is I want to help people find happiness as best as possible. And I want a few people, me and one in particular usually, to find happiness more than any of the others because I'm going to spend the most time helping them find their happiness. So, I mean, I think you could like define every other philosophy based on that. That's all it is. There's this really, really fantastic movie. You have to watch it. It's called Hector, 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 and the Search for Happiness. And he has this journal, and he's kind of like lame and coasting and trying to find his way. And he goes on this big quest. How the conclusion of it, I'm kind of ambivalent about the conclusion because obviously it's got a very specific conclusion. But I'm not gonna give it away. You're gonna have to watch it for yourself. But yeah, he like interviews all kinds of people. He interviews humanitarians in Africa. He interviews drug lords. He interviews ultra rich billionaires in Thailand and China. He he interviews surfer people. He goes to Tibet and he interviews like monks. The guy that plays the engineer in the Star Trek series, what's his name? He plays the main character. Is really, really good. But he doesn't really come with a clean conclusion. But if you were gonna ask me the simplest definition of purpose of life, I would say to find happiness and to help others find happiness. You know, period. Simon Pegg, yeah, that's his name. Thank you. But because like, you know, I feel like it's just so simple, it's like the hard part about it is you can't just say, oh, you got to follow your bliss. You have to like, how do you even do that? I'm getting hot again. How do we even do that? Luthen has Luthen from Andor in it. Absolutely. He's the corporate guy. He's awesome. He's really, really awesome. I love him. He's such a good actor. He was in another movie recently too. So I think we might be ready to ride with Bernie for a while. Let me go switch. Bernie's a little bit faster today. But yeah, so because I woke up today and I was like, why am I so happy? I mean, things in my life are changing that would make a lot of people really sad. And I'm not sad. I'm like really happy. Maybe I'm just delusional, you know? I think okay, so I want to think back to like when I've been the happiest of life of all. The weather. I don't know about the weather thing. Why would it rain in Zwift? I don't want to see the rain. It's why I'm in Zwift. It's like I don't want that kind of realism, honestly. This is why I'm in Zwift. Oh wait, now Bernie's dropping me on top of all that. Not cool, Bernie. Bernie, it's raining. Consider the children. Damn, he's like really dropping me. Oh my God. Rain without being soaked is a vibe. I suppose for some demented people. So God, I don't know if I can do Bernie today. I don't know. I'll try to hang with Bernie for a little bit, but I still want to talk. Talking is the key to a good train workout. If you can't talk, you're not. I mean, you're working too hard. If you want to just promote insulin sensitivity and you're not doing anything but that, I'm not doing this for calories or cardio. Insulin sensitivity, people. I just want to jump start my day, get my blood pumping, talk with my friends. That's why I'm here. Also, not a fan of Lycra. I'm just going to own it. I'm just going to own it. I'm not a fan of Lycra. I never have been since the first shorts I got for Christmas from my mom and dad. God, I remember putting those on going, I'm supposed to go in public with this on? I was like, no. Bernie, slow down. I'm heavier than you. It's all this massive muscle. You're more of a panties guy. Oh, the lore. The lore, people. Nobody here knows that. Like all these YouTubers are like, what the hell is this guy talking about? Panties. Particularly pink panties. Pink panties are part of my lore. Stay tuned. Maybe I'll tell you the story someday. Coping with the loss of a significant other. I also got, yeah? How am I coping with the loss of another significant other? So this gets into the happiness question, right? Samara, that's a great question. I am or have lost several very important people in my life recently, and I don't want to put that for privacy issues. I gotta have to go with Taylor. I can't talk about mortality and ride with Bernie at the same time. Too many words are needed. So I'll go back to Taylor. Taylor's got my back. Like these all 10 people riding with Taylor. So yeah. So I think somebody said it was Bellamy said glass half full. I think there's something to that. Number one, the most important thing to being happy is good music to me. Honest to God, having good music in your ears like I do right now. Linktree/Artimix Rob if you want to hear. I'm actually making a new playlist right now. It's called Favorite Music of All Time. Right now I'm listening to Yoga Beach Chill or Beach Concert. It's just kind of a fun, happy, right? Ooh, look at that badass with an level 80 shirt on. So cool. For some people, it's getting level 80 and telling everybody about it. For some people, it's training their whole lives and not breaking their leg on a really fast ski run once every 4 years. For some people, it's being a happiness broker. Comedians, Robin Williams, my favorite comedian of all time. He fought massive depression his whole life for really real reasons, including serious brain trauma. And he used to talk about the dark side of comedy because so much comedy is covering up pain. You know? Yeah, he's the GOAT. Robin Williams is the GOAT as far as I'm concerned. Because he was legitimately a great person. He was also a big cyclist. And he would gift bikes to people that in need all the time and stuff like that. He was constantly living by the definition of a good life that I agree with. Help people find happiness. There's lots of gifts you can give to people to help them find happiness. And by the way, the number one way to find happiness in the face of absolute despair all around, such as today, I completely am convinced of this, is to give the gift that lead to happiness in others constantly. If the more you stop dwelling on achieving your own happiness, you can't completely, right? You gotta do that. You can't. You got to take responsibility for your own happiness. That's like a big problem. Everybody's like, oh, I'm so depressed. Nobody wants to help me. My life sucks. Okay, do something about it. Don't get sad. Get busy. All right? I'm talking to myself here. Okay? I am preaching to myself. And every time I've got God, the thing that ended my last marriage was a bunch of self-loathing and not taking responsibility for my own happiness. That's what ended the marriage. That is what ended the marriage. It wasn't any specific thing anybody else did or that. It was ultimately about me shrugging the duty of being in charge of my own happiness. And there's gonna be a lot of people who might come across this video, people in my family, my exes. They're gonna be like, this guy is full of shit. Let me tell you what he actually does or did. And I am not denying that. I have lived a life pockmarked with craters, atomic fallout, the series craters caused by my forgetting what I'm telling you. And ultimately, happiness is about, I think it's obviously, I agree with Campbell. It's about finding what makes you truly happy, not what is your latest obsession, Linux, claiming, whatever, yoga. You know what I mean? Hey, Captain. It's not necessarily about that. You know what I mean? Those are all temporary and they kind of get to what makes you happy because someplace inside of there is what makes you happy. For me, it's adventure. And I define venture as being the true thing that you're seeking in life. Adventure and happiness. And adventure to me equals happiness. Adventure means pushing your boundaries. Adventure, it doesn't mean going out and climbing a rock and no, or bike packing across Europe or something. That's to me, that's not adventure. It is, but adventure is pushing your own boundaries. It's like, what are my what do something one day that every day that scares you? Baz Luhrmann, the sunscreen song. Go listen to it. If you're not doing something that scares you, you're not pushing your boundaries. And every time you're seeking adventure, you're pushing your boundaries. At the same time, you're also discovering what makes you happy. Adventure is the vehicle by which you figure out what makes you happy. So anytime you say, "Oh, I could never, I could never, I could never," guess what? To me, that is the thing you should be doing. Because I could never, because it like makes you all butterfly inside, right? You get little butterflies like working your chest, and you're like, "Oh my God, that makes me so excited!" Like moving to Spain or learning Spanish for me right now. Oh, I can never do that. I got this and that and this and that. But the fact that it scares you a little bit and makes you a little bit giddy thinking about it, that's something. I think. I think that's some sort of indicator. You know, I do. I think it teaches you something about yourself, about what's going to make you happy. Oh, I could never work in tech. Oh, I could never be a forest ranger. Oh my God, I should never run for office, not in this climate. Oh, I could never possibly be an activist. I'll get killed. I got people that are responsible for me. Oh, I could never be a Russian cruise director. you know, and you know what? The truth is, you might end up dead. I'm just going to say it. Some of the adventurous seekers will end up dead. The people who like bike pack across Spain, maybe you can adjust your adventure a little bit. Keep it safe, but still adventurous and learn something about yourself. The point is, you're learning, you're learning something, you know, you're learning something about yourself. Um, and you just don't know what you're going to find out in the process. And one of the things I think you might find out is what truly makes you happy. Let me give you another good example that is related directly to the stream. When my stepson, rather in his asshole manner, he's a good kid, but he's also an asshole. Sorry, I'm just calling it out. So he literally said to me, "You should stream that shit." When I lost my company almost during COVID, and he's from New York and had a tough life, blah blah blah. I in my way, I love him in the sense that I helped him find his happiness. I co-signed for him on his car. I tried to be there for him as much as I could. I didn't agree with his decisions or the things that he would joke about at all, but yeah, I'm not talking about that. So the point of it is, I was trying to help him find happiness, and he one day told me, he said, "You know what? You should stream that shit." And at first, it scared me. At first, it really scared me because I was like, and if you go back and watch my earlier videos, and that's what I'm getting to, I'm gonna actually stream going through my videos. Maybe not today. I don't know what day. I have things going on in family right now that are going to be done tomorrow, so I'll have more time. But yeah, the birth of RWX Rob. Like, where did I even come up with a name? All of that came primarily from somebody pushing me on my boundary. Somebody, and it could be anybody. It could be anybody. When I left the Mormon church, which was one of the biggest adventures I would ever have done in my entire life, which was huge. I don't want to talk about it, but it was an invitation from a friend on Facebook who had been through their own things. They sent me one link to a support group and said, "Sounds like you could use this link." That was it. I didn't know them. They didn't try to make friends with me. They gave me a gift, a very small gift that led to my happiness. A level, and not just my happiness, but the happiness of all of my children and many others. So had that person not been thinking, I mean, they could have went about their way and said, "Oh, I'm not going to do that." Just like my stepson could have said, "Oh, I'm not going to talk to him. I don't need to tell him." Even, "You should stream that shit." That comment led to me finding one of the things that has made me the most happy in my entire life, which is helping others find happiness through job skills and confidence and money. Honest to God, money. You know what? You can demonize. I did not get a loan. I wish I had. I went to the banks and they didn't give me a loan because they said, no, we don't care about that. They said, but it's not that we don't care. It's just the bank doesn't care. I'm like, okay, fine. Negative talk. God, I'm only at 102 today. I better go longer then if I'm only at 101, 102. So, yeah. You know what? I made that shit work anyway on my own because I knew it made me happy. I knew it was what I was going to do. And then I made hundreds of people's lives happier by doing it. And that's not a flex. It's just fact. So, this is kind of the secret. I think it's one of these like infinite circles. I think for most people, the secret to happiness is super simple. Help others discover their own happiness or be happy. Just help others be happy, not just discover it, but to be happy, and do the same for yourself. And to me, that is love. The deepest, most fulfilling love is when two people come together independently, both seeking to help the other one find happiness and also to help the other person and also help have you know help find their own, have a confidant, somebody that they can talk to who's going to help them find their own. And you know, that's what every time my relationships have worked, that's what's been happening. The only time the relationships break down is when that stops happening. In one way or another. In one way or another, that's when the relationships break down. So here on Valentine's Day, if you want to talk about love, love is wanting the best for the other person. And by best, I mean helping them find their best happiness, their best true life. And that doesn't necessarily mean staying together. By the way, I just have to say it. If somebody is staying with somebody because they're stuck with them, that is not love. That's not. There's a lot of marriages in the ancient times that were not based on love at all. They were based on convenience. But that's not love. You can't call that love. I'm sorry. I forget it. That whole Fiddler on the Roof song. Do you love me? Bullshit. After 25 years, I cook your clothes. What? No, cook your meals, clean your clothes. And you ask, do I love you? And at the end, she goes, I suppose I do. I to this day, I don't like that because the Fiddler on the Roof scene is not about finding mutual happiness for both people. It's not. It's about them fulfilling their roles. I am the papa. I am the papa. You do what I say. In fact, the whole show is about him realizing that it's not about that. That love is not about that. Love is about helping other people find their happiness, even if it means marrying a Russian. You know? Can you imagine? I mean, I can imagine, but can you imagine during that time? Oh boy. Wait, what? Taylor dropped me again? Damn it, Taylor! Human behavior is complicated. Yeah. Well, actually, let's talk about that for a second. So another thing I wrote in my journal is this isn't limited to humans. You can love, I mean, dogs. Let's talk about dogs for a second. Why do we love dogs so much? Dogs have biologically evolved to be the best companions in all of those ways. Why do we love them? We love them because they make us happy. Why do they make us happy? Because their contract with us is very simple. I will directly tell you and show you what I need to be happy. Food, you picking my shit up. When I need to be pet, I want you to touch me. I'm going to come over and bump your hand. And I'm going to, you know, they love us unconditionally. They don't love us unconditionally. They love us directly. If you slap them, they'll remember it. They'll still love you, but they'll remember it. The point of it is that the relationship between a formerly wolf, the one wolf who decided to be friends with the human that's going to get him food and get the scraps versus the one that's going to attack the human and eat him and get the short time meal. I mean, it's actually Neil deGrasse Tyson in Cosmos. He has a huge talk about the whole evolution of dogs and how wolves became domesticated out of evolutionary factors, that they are biologically bonded with humans as a species because they survive better if they're friends with us. So the dogs that evolved to be cute and have puppy eyes and all that, they ended up winning. They ended up winning. And then humans came along and said, okay, we're going to even make them better. We're going to make the dogs that we really want. And then you get sheepdogs and all that. So this is why so many people are like, oh, I'm a dog lover, I'm a pet lover. I like my dogs more than humans. Why? Because humans are messy. Humans are messy. We're not biologically evolved to just be so direct. When's the last time you walked up to somebody on the street and you wanted them to pet you or give you a hug, so you just rubbed your shoulder into some random person? A dog will do that. A dog will also bite your hand off if it thinks you're going to hurt it because they're more direct. The reason people love dogs is because they don't screw around. They don't screw around. They are simple creatures and they have evolved to show love and to demand love, right? They are so pure. And so on this wonderful Valentine's Day, there is more than one human being taking their dog for a walk, picking its shit up, and then snuggling with it while they watch a movie about another human that the dog could give a shit about. But the dog's needs are simple. They just want affection. They want to be touched, which is interesting because this is something. So one of the things that I feel like humans haven't figured out is how to do the thing with a dog, where a dog will come up and nuzzle with you and say, yeah, please touch me, yeah, pet me, that feels really good, thank you. They don't do that. We don't even do it when we're married to people. You could be married to someone and you could still be hesitant to go straight up to them and just give them a hug, or because you get like assessing, are they in a good mood, are they blah blah blah. You know, and I'm not talking about sex here. I'm just talking about natural affection and touch, which we all know is biologically required for us to be happy. It just is. It's like it makes me want to join one of these like yoga hug cults where everybody just hugs each other, or free hugs here and there, right? Or you watch a lot of single people will gravitate towards these communities where touch is allowed, whether it's a yoga community or a Reiki or massage or a dance club, a men's club, you know. And honestly, some of the extremes is like when they actually pay for it, you know. And I don't know how I feel about that. I have mixed feelings about that, but at the same time, apparently the Japanese are like, we're really progressive here. They've like really passed us on this particular topic. Yeah, my other stepson was talking to me about this once. And I mean, just there are a lot of people in the world who may never have a companion to share affection with or whatever. And what about them? This AI stuff is trying to fill the gap, but it will never work. It does stimulate you for sure, but it will never work because it cannot replace human touch. You cannot replace it. There are so many things involved with personal contact. This is why we're having an epidemic of depression and loneliness right now. Because there are so many people, no matter how intimate you get with somebody on a live stream, I'm talking about intimate, I'm not talking about sex. I'm talking about sharing details about their family and the legitimate concerns about them. I mean, a lot of the people in the chat, some right now actually, I communicate with them regularly on Signal as friends. In fact, some of them I'm going to actually meet when I go back to North Carolina. So I'm not saying that this, I met my last wife through the internet. So, and it was great. It was a great 13 years for the most part until it wasn't, to use her words. And the point is that there's no way you can replace personal contact, and that everybody needs that to be happy. So we're talking about happiness and love, right? If you don't have to want to fuck the person that you're trying to help be happy. You don't. You could have maybe never touched them, but at some point, you just have to own that for you to be happy, you're going to need to figure out how to be touched. I mean, you're just going to have to figure it out. And for me right now, that comes mostly through my family. I used to not be my mom. I'm going to throw my mom under the bus here. So, mom, I love you. I really do. I sincerely love you. Thank you for letting me back in your life and everything. I have a really great relationship with my mom right now. And when there were times in our relationship where she was so stressed out and had so much going on that, I mean, she's never been one to hold back affection, but there's a point at which you're like, no, don't touch me. I just want to be by myself, right? Yeah. So that can happen. But lately, my mom has openly told me in public, she's like, I just love your hugs so much. And so do I. I love the hugs too. I like travel for 90 minutes just to get a big mom hug, big mama bear hug. And I'm going to cry. Ooh, am I a mama's boy? Fuck yes, I am. You know why? Because a big part of the love that we have established is just getting a hug, whether it's from your mom. So I'm going to make a challenge, y'all. I'm going to make a challenge, y'all, while I drop Taylor. Find someone that you can hug or shake hands with. I mean, don't make it creepy. You know what I really hate? I hate that society has creepified spontaneous touch. I hate that. I hate that because there are a lot of people who are touchers, women and men, and I understand why that is. I understand why that is because if you don't know somebody and you're like one person might be more like when you shake their hand, they might put an arm on their shoulder or something simple like that, but to the wrong person, serial touchers, yeah, people that they'll touch you, they'll like hug you, they'll like people are like backing away. So the reason I say this is because since I've been kind of cut off from you know sincere innocent touch, I have started doing that more. I've noticed, yeah, like people that I know, yoga teachers, regulars in the yoga shala, men and women. I'll be in the shala and we'll laugh or something, and my hand will just naturally go up on their shoulder, and I'll just pat their shoulder or something. And then I always ask myself that when I'm like out in the car, I'm like, oh shit, did I violate their personal space or whatever? But part of the problem is that none of us have any idea how to do any of this. Affectionate, right? There are people who don't know they're being creepy, who are being creepy, and that's also a problem. The problem is we don't even have a training ground for all of this because nobody does anything with anybody in person. Hashtag hyperbole. Because they don't. When's the last time you did anything with somebody IRL? And here I am soapboxing in my bike because it's so hard to find people IRL. There are all kinds of like pop-up meetups now. And you know, so the other day I was like so fed up with being by myself. I mean, I have my kids here on occasion, but I was like, so I went to a coffee shop to work. And I was just working next to random people. Didn't touch them, didn't do anything. But it was just so nice to be around other people. And you know what? I could tell that they were there for the same reason. You're not supposed to assume stuff like that, but assumptions, don't make assumptions. Rule number 2 of the 4 agreements. What are the 4 agreements? Let's repeat them together. What are the 4 agreements? Let's repeat them together. Number 1, be impeccable with your word. That means do not sin. Impeccable means don't sin. Peshe means sin. That means watch what you say. Say things that are truthful. Say things that are nice. Don't say, if they're direct, make sure that they're for the right reasons. Number 2, don't, I think it's, I mix them up. I think number two is don't take things personally. I think I got it wrong. That means you can never know what's going on with another person. You just cannot know where they come from. Maybe they were raised by a mother who made them drink their own urine for most of their life and a father that beat them every day. You don't know. You just don't know. And so don't take things personally. Even this is a hard one because it's like I didn't say any of these four agreements are easy to do. They're just easy to say. The third one, it's easy to remember too. This is why I always remember them. Every time I do something wrong or I have a doubt, it's always because I'm violating one of these agreements. Number three, don't make assumptions. You can't assume. And this will actually give you a lot more courage. Yesterday I sent a photo of my rummy game and a part of a care package that my ex-wife sent to my son, to my ex-wife. You know what the last time I even communicated with my I didn't make any assumptions. I was like, I am not going to assume anything. And then the last one is do your best. That means if you're trying, no, that means if you're doing your very best, you can't beat yourself up. You literally are trying your best. And if everybody else is following the four agreements, or at least trying to, then you got a chance because they won't make an assumption other than, well, I'm sure they're trying their best. Maybe they just don't know this thing here or that thing there. Yeah. Hey, Magic. So, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I love this guy's hat. I love his hat. I also love his jersey. What a great jersey that is. He's styling. I want that jersey. I like that hat. I want to be him. I want to look just like him. So, oh, we're dropping Taylor. We're dropping Taylor. God, I love his clothes. Oh, he teleported out. I missed him. Anyway, so that's the four agreements. So, and it's actually made me much more confident because if I don't take things personally, I am doing my best and I am being super careful to watch what I say. And I don't know if you've noticed this about me, but I've been a lot more careful lately with how I talk publicly and in private. I choose my words better. It doesn't help that I've been motivated by Hank Moody, and that's an inside joke. If you know who Hank Moody is one of my all-time heroes for not most of the reasons you would assume. I'm waiting for Taylor. I'm beating Taylor too much. Taylor, catch up. We got another 10 minutes or so. So he's a writer and everything. So, writing kind of makes you want to pick words that are more descriptive and better and everything, all that, right? Piss and vinegar. A lot of people are motivated by piss and vinegar and bitterness. And, I know that they struggle with that. And, again, love is based on happiness, and happiness is mutual happiness. That means helping the other person find their happiness and that person helping you find your happiness. If that is not happening, it's not love. Sorry, I don't think it's love. It's not. If it's you can still love somebody and have them not love you back. If it's a relationship, if both of you are moving up, good. If it's like this, bad. There. Now, it might be this. It might be this, and then this, and then this, and then this, and then this. It might be that. But if it's this, then no, bad relationship. Oh, by the way, what are some of the obvious ways to help another person be happy besides finding their own? Oh, well, to me, that's the best one, right? You can give them gifts. And I'm not talking about just money. It can definitely be money. It can be security. I call it, not money. When you give somebody money, you're giving them security. That's what you're giving them most of the time. But I mean, it is one of the love languages, You can give them knowledge. You can give them time. You can give them a hug. You can give them a hug. You can give them attention and appreciation. Acknowledgement, not flattery, sincere acknowledgement that they exist. I saw this thing you did, and oh my God. Or a specific compliment on how they dress, not like, man, that makes your booty look good. But like, I mean, it depends on the person. Maybe, maybe if someone told me that, I would be like, hell yeah, thank you for that compliment. So I guess it depends on the person. But I think, and security and money, that kind of thing. So, I don't know. I've been thinking a lot about this. I was writing a lot of my journal about this morning on this wonderful. I had to give up. I had to not go to my. They did this super special yoga last night with goth theme. They had this respect, right? Respect is a tough word though. Respect is used by wife beaters. Well, I'm not getting the respect I want. No, I don't like that word. I know what you meant by it, Kip Tip. I'm not like attacking you, but that's not a word that I would use here because, you know, giving someone respect, if you give them time, attention, legit attention, like you're listening to them speak, you're not thinking about what to say next. You're thinking if you're listening to them, like with actual intent. Maybe you're reflectively listening, right? If you give them attention, if you listen, if you give them attention includes sincere compliments on things that they're doing. If you remember their name, for God's sake. You know how much better I am now at remembering names than I was before? I've known this in the past. I was struggling in high school to make friends, and I read Dale Carnegie's book about winning friends and all that, and the original influencer guidebook, and literally how to win friends and influence people. How many influencers have actually read it? Zero. Zero, because none of them follow any of the YouTube influencers. They do not follow anything from that book at all. They just don't, because and he's saying don't do it insincerely. But if you truly want to make a friend or be, to me that's also love. If you want to, the goal of life is to making friends is kind of the natural byproduct of living a life seeking happiness and seeking happiness for others. It's just you just naturally will make friends and lovers and everything because it's just a byproduct of it. If you're doing it right, you will naturally meet them in the places that you go to meet people. And be very careful where you go to meet people, by the way. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying don't go places that you might actually want to push your boundaries on that too. Like I've been into some bars. In fact, I've been into a men's club like once or twice where I met people who were legitimately interesting people, and not just out to get my money. Obviously, they were, but that's actually one of the things about my experience. I actually wrote all about this in my book. Is how honest everybody. There's like a certain level of honesty in a club like that because you know that they are going to lie to you and make you feel good about yourself. You also know that you are going to be paying them for that, but you don't care, which is probably a symptom of another problem, right? People are so hungry for having the appearance that another person actually cares about them and wants them to be happy that they will pay for it. Twitch is filled with these people. It's filled with them. It's filled with people. Now, once they really succeed, paying for self-validation, crazy, right? But people do it. People do it in all kinds of ways. People hire people basically hire wives to just tell them how awesome they are and cook all their meals or whatever. Or husbands. I presume. I don't know. People are so dependent on this need for happiness and validation. They'll get a dog. They'll, you know, and I mean, it goes both ways. A lot of, this is very sexist to say, but it's been my observation. A lot of men will, it's also my Mormon upbringing. They'll become really good providers and daddies, so to speak, and they know that they can make other people happy by providing security. They're basically like, they want to be not the alpha male, which has been debunked, but they want to be the bull of the herd, where they want the other people, the other women in the herd to be like, yeah, this bull is safe and he's a protector and he makes me happy and wants my best, and that, I mean, that's just my perception of it. So, but then you also have the opposite of that, which is, you know, women who think that helping a guy become happy equals, cooking for them, sex, and all that other stuff. These are very traditional old values, which I don't think hold up. I think some of it biologically holds up. I don't want to get into a sexist conversation. I think biologically some of that holds up, but humans are far more complex than any animal herd or gorilla pod or anything like that. So I would never presume. I mean, the bottom line is, and by the way, happiness, the level to which, so polyamorous relationships, you got groups that they had polygamy in the Mormon church before. You have polyamory now. You have the slave pet thing going on now. I mean, there's lots of different ways to express the desire to help others be happy. Now, unfortunately, some people, in order to be happy, they think they want to be beaten or something. I don't. That's a very complicated space. I don't know what to do with that one. I can't unpack that one. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, I mean, do you know what I'm saying? It's like, at what point does it kind of cross the line, right? Are you perpetuating your own? I mean, that's like, let's stick with the sort of the mainstream path, because there are people who have daddy issues. There's people that have been abused. There are people who have really screwed up ideas in their head about what it means to be happy for them. For them, they can't be happy unless they're being, beaten for whatever reason, because they've associated that with happiness for some reason. I don't even know. I'm not a psychologist. Where's Pimp? We have a licensed psychologist whose name is Pimp in my chat. Go unpack that one for a bit. Fantastic bass player, ice skater extraordinaire, cyclist. I miss him. He's not here today. Yeah, one of my favorite stream friends. Um, so anyway, we were talking about love and happiness. We are coming up on 60 minutes. My job is almost over here. I've been talking a lot, keeping my heart rate around 110, recovery heart rate, and talking about love and happiness. Again, I woke up today and I looked out and there was this beautiful sunrise, sorry, on the mountains. Beautiful white snow, just orange as could be. And I drank my coffee and I was writing in my journal. What else did I write? Happiness is bringing happiness to others, and love is founded on happiness. Those are my two headlines for the day. You can't be happy. You can't have love if it's not based on happiness. Promote mutual happiness promotion. That means, figuring out helping the other person achieve what makes them happy. If what makes them happy, if they decided is, I mean, I think that takes a certain amount of understanding too, because what makes another person happy may not be what makes you happy. I do think you get a better relationship when both of you, like if you're going to do the one-on-one relationship thing, when both of you have the same idea of happiness. But I also think you can find happiness by not necessarily having a one-on-one relationship and having multiple relationships with lots of different people and finding out what makes that person happy. And the more intimate those relationships, the better. I'm not talking sex again. I'm talking about intimacy. How often do you talk to them? How often do you text them? How often do you think about them during the day? Do you randomly think about them because something about their life is triggered in your memory? You know, and it doesn't have to be people you have like relationships with. You know what I mean? Oh, hey, thank you so much, Holly, for the raid. We're just talking Valentine's topics. I've got another 4 minutes on my little happy active recovery ride. Thank you so much, Holly. So yeah, I'm not even with Taylor anymore. I think she dropped me again. Nope. Yep, she did. Thanks for the shout out, Jalopy. But yeah, so it's like you can like barely know a person, and I think you could still be committed to making them happy. I do. I gave some free passes to the climbing gym to somebody that I barely know, that I know about their situation, and I'm like, you know, And that's not a flex. It's just what I'm saying is you don't have to really know them closely. One of my favorite things that about how a Valentine's Day, my favorite memories of Valentine's Day, something this is something my mom taught us. We would. I was reminded of this just the other day. Um, uh, but it's not having sex in the end kind of a relationship anyway. I don't think not having sex can kill a relationship. Let's talk about that one for a second. Oh, actually, let me do my mom's story first. So, when I was young, my mom did a lot of things to make the holidays really fun for us. And I'm actually reminded of that when my first ex-wife, my kid's son, mother, sends my kids care packages that have little happy notes on them and stuff. And it like warms my heart. Yeah, we have lots of history, but that still warms my heart to see that. And it reminds me of actually my mom. Like when my mom was a kid, she would go out of her way to do things for us on Valentine's Day. Did anybody else have like that class where you'd have to write a Valentine and you could pass them out in the class in elementary school? That was such a stressful day. That was so much stress, right? It was for my generation because oh my god, they're gonna laugh at me, blah blah blah. It was like that. It was like the episode of The Grinch. You know, the Grinch with Jim Carrey when he has to make that present and then he gets made fun of. I mean, it was so hard. But yeah, that's where the trauma began. Back when you were starting to do Valentine's, you got rejected or whatever. But I just remember one of the things my mom used to do for everybody, and I love this. She would organize. First of all, this woman had 8 children because reasons, mostly because she felt like she had a lot of love to give, and that's what God wanted. And it's been hard. It's been obviously hard. I don't get into it. But one of the things that she would do to entertain all of us, at least, is she would organize these things. So we would during Christmas we would do Secret Santa, and I remember during Valentine's, um, yeah, nothing like giving a Valentine to your crush and wondering if she's going to give you one back, right? And my God, the feeling, right? The feeling when your Valentine actually gives you a bun back, you're like, oh my God, it's mutual. It's usually great because if it's somebody we're staying with, it's usually somebody you're like, oh my God, they're never going to like me. But you take the risk anyway. And then they're thinking the same thing. Oh my God, he's never going to like me. But then they take the risk anyway. And you both realize it's like that. You know, we should play the song. What's the song? Go listen to the song right now. Go listen to Teenage Dirtbag. Go listen to Teenage Dirtbag right now. It's probably the best love song ever made. I love it. It's such a good song. It is such a good song. The whole song is about him being a dirtbag and she's never going to see him. And then all of a sudden she sees him and it's like, yeah, joy, happiness. And so my mom, you know, a lot of people just want to know they're appreciated. So yesterday, I opened my door and at the bottom of my door was this really frilly pink Valentine. I mean, it was gorgeous. It was like, it had little crepe paper and it had like, you know, little the details, nothing that I would ever do. I mean, I would have somebody else do it because I'm pretty plain. I would write a poem or a song, or I know I'm lame like that, or a guitar. I'd play the guitar at them, to quote Barbie. So, you know, that's what I would do. But it's just like really frilly little. No, it wasn't. It wasn't from that person, which I shall not name. There is a person by that name in this area. That's why I'm not using the name. Uh, and so I was like, what the hell? I was like, oh, this is interesting. So for a second, I'm not even kidding. For the second, I had all of the same emotion well up inside, right? I had oh, who is it from? Who likes me? Who appreciates me? Anybody want to guess who it was from? In fact, Gordon was here. Gordon was here. And I brought him like, Gordon, we got a Valentine. And so I was like, we went running to we were running to the counter, like picking it apart, seeing who it's from. All right, a couple of you guess who it was from. One of you's already guessed. It's not. It's not. It's a very depressing story. It was from my apartment complex. Yep, it was from my apartment complex. I didn't get any other Valentine's. I got a lot of attention and acknowledgement and had a lot of fun on Valentine's Day in ways that I won't get into today because my ride's about done. But but I did but I was not expecting a Valentine from my apartment complex. And so I proceeded to like, eat every chocolate and get sick because I haven't had chocolate. I have not eaten chocolate in God since last year. It would have to be at least a year, not even at Christmas. So I was like, oh my God, I was like, eating all the chocolate. So I try to eat those like those Jordan almonds, those almonds that they like wrap in candy. About broke a molar off. Yeah, the dentist found a huge cavity in my back tooth underneath the cap that I have. That's all getting taken care of at the end of March. So yeah, but anyway, so we're like, oh, okay, yeah, but at the same time, I didn't care because I felt appreciated. So one of the points in like Dale Carnegie's books is like, hey, you want to be good in business? Learn how to show sincere appreciation to your customers. Learn how to not piss off the people you're talking with. Don't yell at the person on the bank. Show appreciation. Spread happiness. Even if you totally got screwed and you're waiting 40 minutes to cancel your account and they tell you you have to drive 90 minutes to a bank to actually do it, it's still not worth it, Rob. Still not worth it. So the moral of the story is show appreciation and build happiness. That's one of the easiest ways. Giving people money who need it. For me, that's something I can do right now. I don't mind sharing that I was just informed. I have to flex about this because I am so proud of this. After everything I've gone through in my life, I have to flex like this. I was just notified that I have an 800 credit score. I'm not even kidding. 800. I did not believe it. I looked it up on my Credit Karma and I was like, what the hell? And we'll talk about that another day about how I made that happen. All my debt is paid off. All my credit card debts are paid off and everything. And I'm regularly paying on a car for my kid, and there's like a bunch of things that are leading to good karma. Actually, one of these bike rides I want to get into. I want to talk very specifically about all the ways to build your credit because there are a lot of young people who don't know this. I was talking about this with my kids. We went out to Hibachi, the Benihana style thing. It wasn't Reddit store; it was Credit. Yeah. So we went out to Hibachi yesterday. It's just another story all by itself. The Vietnamese guy was complaining about the Bad Bunny halftime show. It was like the worst halftime he'd ever seen, and the worst Super Bowl. And I was like, "What?" I still trying to unpack that, but I don't have an opinion either way right now. All I know is it happened. My kids are like, "What? There was a halftime show? What?" We were playing rummy. I was mostly dominating, and then I got destroyed by others. In case you were wondering. All right, we are done writing for the day. That's been a full hour of nice, happy, easy writing and talk. Time for me to go get something else done. Oh, please don't talk about. Okay, I'll stay on the bike for a little bit more. Let's talk about sexless relationships. I think unless your relationship, I'm just going to put it out there. If having sex and being touched makes you happy, if sex is a part of what defines you and makes you happy, for most people it is, and having sex with yourself doesn't do it, which for most people it doesn't, then unless your partner is willing to let other opportunities for you to have sex enter the picture, you're done. I'm sorry, you're done. And you can call me a demon for saying that all you want. I don't give a shit. Because it now becomes this. It now becomes this. One of the things that now you got to be careful because it might be that it's not really sex you want. I would suggest that's been my case in a lot of times. I'm going to get a little personal here about me, not others. When I was a kid, I had huge buck teeth. I was regularly made fun of. And so I have a trauma that was instilled in me when I was 12 years old, even before, about being attracted to women. And I have always equated that with them wanting to have sex with me. Yeah, I got my guardrails on. So I don't mind sharing that. So the question is, if you're stuck in a sexless relationship, should you stay? And the question really is, why do you need sex? That's the question you got to answer. And that's more about what makes me happy. What makes you happy? What makes me happy? Is it the sex that's making me happy? Is this the appreciation? Is it whatever? And if you think about what it is when you're having sex that makes it nice for you, I think you'll find the answer to that. If you like romantic connection and like dreaming, staring into your eyes kind of thing, then that's because you want to be seen, and that's not because you want to fuck somebody. If you find yourself wanting to bend them over and ride them home, which is really fun, then that's an actually maybe a biological need that's not getting met, which is true. And actually, when I was first divorced, I struggled with this for years. I did, because I was like, where is this coming from? It's like I had several. I'm just gonna be a little personal again. No details from any other person, but just my own life. I After my first marriage, I had a lot of really great started up relationships where we both seemed to want the best for others. Uh, we were really happy, and we made each other happy. At least on the surface, we thought so. I think to truly decide if you want to be with somebody for a long time, you need to spend a certain amount of time with them. And quite honestly, a lot of times you're going to spend that time, invest that time, and they're going to discover that what they thought made them happy, that you were helping them find, is different. So, like, let's say, for example, somebody wants to be a surgeon, and they figure that out after you married them because they were going to be your backpacking companion for the rest of life, and you figured that's one of the things that made them really happy, the outdoors. And you've married somebody who's like home as a surgeon all day, every day. Love would dictate that you let each other go and split, right? Or uh, the roles are reversed. Buck teeth, yes. You don't have to worry about buck teeth. Finally, my buck teeth will be taken care of. Yeah, the point I'm trying to make is that if you, I think, I don't know. If the other woman wanted tons of sex, if I was married to, well, in my case, a woman, right? And obviously, not even a woman, somebody who presents as feminine. I'm going to be really clear on that. That's what I'm attracted to. Yeah, I know it's no secret. Um, I just want to be clear. It doesn't have to be a woman. It had to be somebody who manifested as feminine. There's the whole thing for this. I've been really educated by my family, who has a lot of non-traditional relationships, and it's been really kind of fun, actually, to discover. The more that I've shared about this, the more my siblings and kids and everybody have been more willing to share, what makes them happy, how they define love and relationships and stuff like that. And one of them is, sexuality and gender attraction. So anyway, if a woman, if a woman was attracted to me and she wanted to have sex all the time, and I didn't legitimately want to have sex with her, do you still do it, right? Or do you just do it for selfish reasons? I think this is a tough one, because you also have to factor in the whole I'm not in the mood because I'm a woman and I have my hormones trigger once a month, versus the man who's biologically programmed to be triggered all the time until they hit a certain point. Has anybody ever passed the point with a woman where she's hornier than you are? Believe me, I I won't say who, but I've had that happen a couple times. And then you're like, oh, then you have to establish, well, what is it they want from you? Do they want do they really want sex? Do they want to be ridden home, or do they want, frankly, orgasm, or do they want just affection? Do they want to be validated? Do they want to be seen? A lot of women, I think in particular, have been really destroyed by modern society. They don't think they matter unless somebody wants to have sex with them. And on this, by the same token, a lot of men have been destroyed by thinking that their desire, their lust even for a woman, is bad. They're like that's something that this should be shunned. And I don't think it is. I think sexual attraction is natural. It doesn't always. The point is, it doesn't always sync up. It doesn't always sync up. So then the question, and that's the same thing with any part of a relationship, right? So, for example, let's say you're helping them become an astronaut while you stay home and do whatever. and then they want to be the astronaut, and so you stay home and you do whatever, and you've got this kind of, stepwise support one another relationship. To me, that's sex. Period. This idea that both people are going to orgasm at the same idea is total blasphemy. It should not be put in any porn anywhere because it's like fucking up. Sorry for that word, but it's fucking up people's ideas of sexuality. That's not it. A good sexual relationship is making sure the other one gets what they want out of that. And it might not even be orgasm. Maybe it is. You know, I think that's to a degree, obviously. I mean, there's like, if what the other person wants is going to. I've been watching Californication right now, and it deals with this topic so well. I absolutely love it. It's this. It's a series. It's a series called Californication, and the first season goes through these two couples that are they're trying to deal with these issues, and they just deal with it in a really funny way. It's very but they're very open about because they're being challenged. It's like, and so I don't think it's a taboo topic, by the way. I think more people should talk about this because rather than getting their input from like, I don't know, the random porn site or erotica novel, which I love. I love erotica novels. I like writing on them. We're writing one right now. But I don't think, I don't think it should be taboo. I think we should talk about it. So I'm talking about it right now. There are underlying issues anyways, and sex is just one symptom. Yeah. I think that's true. I think that okay, so I've had this happen once. I won't say who. I've had somebody try to repair the relationship on the spot by sticking their tongue down my throat. That doesn't work. Whether you've only been dating them for a couple months or you've been dating them for 20 years, you've been married to them, it doesn't work. You can't all of a sudden, you just can't all of a sudden make everything go well. And by the way, if you're trying to assess whether the relationship still has fire in it, and you do something like that, whether you're a man or a woman, you're going to get an imperfect measurement of your relationship because it could be you can't make any assumptions. You don't know why they didn't respond. You don't know the reason. It could be something going on personally at work. It could be any number of things, right? You shouldn't have to do that kind of thing to try to suddenly restore your relationship or do this like, super overarching like Valentine's Day weekend or something to rekindle your love. That's not how love works, in my opinion. Love is a slow burning. Yeah. How you doing, Holly? And yeah, love is a slow burning thing. It is I am doing everything over the long term to make you happy, and that includes sex. That means, guys, if your girl is giving you hints that she wants an orgasm and you don't do anything to help with that, bad dude. Bad dude. Bad dude. You're a bad boy. You need to do your job. be, be chivalrous. Make sure she has her fun first. By the way, if you make sure she has her fun first, you'll have way more fun. I'm just gonna say it. Something I've learned from personal experience. Personal experience. If you open the door for the girl first before you start driving, I guarantee you will be rewarded. Many, many, many. I built a relationship on that pretty much. So, yeah. All of you go search for the word cunnilingus. Oh, I'm just having fun, but it's true. I used to joke about it. Missing my front teeth gives me a particular set of skills, which it does. It absolutely does. That's actually, I'm not even going to lie. Oh, and I am so in trouble right now. One of the reasons I decided to not get implants is because I want the option to not have front teeth. I'm not gonna lie, that was one of the data points in my decision. It was like, hey, can I just take these teeth out? But then, but then you have to weigh that against how much am I going to freak out the woman I'm with when all of a sudden I look like some prospector. Oh my god. But it's true. It's absolutely true. You know how many times I've knocked my buck front teeth on a woman at the wrong time? At least twice that I can remember. Be careful down there, boys. Be careful. You're dealing with treasure down there. Be super careful. But I'm telling you, if you don't figure that out, forget about having a sexual relationship with a woman, period. Caliper, you knew that would come up. Well, there you go. You absolutely get me then. I should stop now. But so, by the way, and for men, it's the same sort of thing. Although I'm going to confess something right now. Not a fan of the BJ. Why are we talking about this? Because it's Valentine's Day. Because I lost the sauce. Okay, no. Okay, so we were talking about sexual compatibility as an element of a love relationship. That's where we got. That's where we went. That's how we got down this really entertaining rabbit hole in the middle of Fuego Flats, which is where we are. Oh boy. Yeah. Actually, this is one of the great advantages of streaming because we can anonymously ask questions of each other that we would never dare ask in person, and I don't mind a little embarrassment on my behalf by you knowing who I am. I actually think this is one of the best advantages of streaming. It's one of the reasons I'm going to start live streaming again because whether it's tech or relationships, you can ask questions being vulnerable. And the worst thing that can happen is you have a troll smash you and then a moderator smashes them. So, yeah. Sure, you're very anonymous. You're less anonymous than I am. People Google you. Oh, really? Yeah, I think I probably would get Googled pretty easily too. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so the girls, I mean, okay, so let me just, all I can do is speak to my guys. You need to chime in here, okay? You need to chime in here. We're all friends. I'll just tell you for me, I think it's because of you have to really, this is taking me 58 years to figure out, and I am still figuring it out. This is why relationships are so hard. Because, no pun intended, right? Because it's like, I believe because I wasn't appreciated as a nerdy kid that I'm obsessed about being appreciated sexually for the rest of my life. I think it's hard coded into my DNA because of that. And I've had to deal with that in whatever ways. I know people who have been abused. I know one woman in particular who was abused in a pool by three men. Absolutely horror story. And that has definitely affected her sexuality for the rest of her life. And so it's more of a thing of like knowing where you come from. And that's the preface by saying I don't like the BJ. I don't. I'm not a fan of it. Especially any porn depiction of a BJ. In fact, if you want to kill my sexual arousal faster than anything else, show me the picture of a woman gagging on a man. That is fucking brutally bad. I fucking hate that shit. I hate it. It just making me angry right now. And no, but see, here's the problem, Holly. So I know that there are men who love it, but you got to figure out where that man is coming from. A lot of men they're coming from a totally different place. They're coming from a place of, I am the bull, take it. And the thing that's sad is that particular type of sexuality is misrepresented. And so here's another one. People men who choke girls. No woman likes to be choked. That asphyxiation thing is a thing, but it's what killed Mr. Kung Fu, by the way. But it doesn't happen by choking girl. Does some girls like to be really kind of owned? Absolutely. I've been with several. And they give you hints. They'll give you hints that they want you to let them know you're the man kind of thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's extremely personal. So, and that's the thing. So one person's answer, they don't like, I know of men who are obsessed with that. And I was with a woman, I won't say who, for amount of time. I was with one woman who knew I had a hang up about that, and she spent the better part of our relationship trying to get me over it. So the point of it is, sexuality is just like one facet. It's a very important facet, but it's like one facet of a relationship, and ultimately that is about making the other person happy. What makes me more happy than getting ringed properly and having somebody tickle me? Yeah. What is what is more? But that's probably way too much information. But you know what is better than that? Have you know what is the single sexiest thing to me? Okay, I have two things I'm going to give up about myself. This is very personal. I can't believe I'm doing this. Um, okay, so the first thing is right here. This little spot on a woman right here, this little hip crease right here. That hip crease on a woman is the sexiest spot on an entire woman's body for me. That little place where that little place where that that hip bone just protrudes a little bit out, maybe because it's a handle. I don't even know the reason, but it just that is so. And this the number two best way to turn me on is to look at me with that look of disbelief, like that look, because I'm a writer and I am a linguist, and I don't like cartoons because they don't have. I like studying people's faces and body language. It's like I'm obsessed with that. And the thing is their eyes. If a woman looks at me, like, you know the look. You know the look. Some of you men know the look, and some women know the look. I love handles. If if a woman looks at me with that look of like gasping disbelief, like, and sometimes they'll like their jaw will drop and their eyes will go open, and they're like, what? How? They're like, it's almost like they're asking, where is all of this sensation coming from? And they're like in complete disbelief. It's like, if it's legit, and the reason I like it is because you can't fake that. You can't fake that. It's like, and usually it'll be associated with some small thing. Like they'll like they'll touch you in some place you're not expecting. Like they'll touch your forearm, or they'll touch your, not necessarily your abs. Sometimes they will, but they're like looking in your eyes, and they are locked onto your eyes. And the only thing they're trying to communicate is, how the fuck are you making me feel this good? There is no better, more stimulating thing in the world to see that look. And the woman who figures out how to fake that look, but don't fake it. Actually, you know why I like it? Let me tell you why I like it. Okay, and then I'll be done with this really long stream. The reason I like it is because that look validates that I'm doing my job. That look means I am making sure you are as happy as you are making me. And that is love. And when you do that, I guarantee you that look doesn't happen. There's a difference between wincing from pain because you're jamming your whatever into them and it's not appropriate. But that specific look, and once you learn to identify it, once you see it, you'll never forget it. And boy, it is gold, people. And guess what? You'll never get that look unless you figure out the other skill. And by the way, that doesn't have anything to do with having a massive cock or whatever. I don't. Okay, just or any of that. It has to do with focusing on your partner. It has to do with truly focusing on your partner and like looking at their cues and everything. 99% of porn out there does not do that. And it's a travesty because a lot of young people are being influenced, particularly men. They're being influenced by this. This is why so many women watch lesbian porn. I have that on direct fact. I have at least 3 data points on that. Women love lesbian porn. You want to get good at making love to a woman? Watch lesbian porn. I am single. I'm divorced. Yeah. No, but that's a fun joke. But yeah, it's like, yeah, yeah, lesbian porn. Lesbian porn is the best sex training you will ever get. Go. This is your homework assignment. Your homework assignment on Valentine's Day, men and women. You know why it's good for women too? Because women don't look. I was married to a Mormon woman for years, and thank God she was, and then I was married to a former Catholic girl after that. So I had a lot of excitement. We'll just put it that way. But how do I say this without violating privacy? A lot of women don't know what they want. Remember that whole thing about the meaning of life being finding happiness and helping other people find happiness, and sometimes that involves sex, and that it goes for sex too. Well, hear me out. If if the woman doesn't know how to be happy in bed, you're fucked, or you're not fucked. One of the two. You're not. You're not. You can't win. She doesn't know how. She doesn't even know how to feel good. I tell you what. You want to be eternally in a woman's heart? Help her figure out what she likes if she doesn't know. Oh yeah, because now you're her guru. No, I don't, Holly. On the whole, from my experience, this is a generalization. I'm gonna get in trouble. Hey, Teal, how you doing? Um, from my experience, women are generally more plugged into their own sexuality than men. Men. I mean, let's just be honest. Men, men are guys. I'm sorry, I'm throwing us under the bus here, but men are naturally selfish. We are. We naturally they men. This is just a Valentine's Day weirdness, Holly. So men will naturally take care of themselves, and I don't know if it's because they learned about it earlier. Uh, they were more willing to experiment when they were younger than for me. It was 9 years old. They're just willing to experiment rather than learn about themselves. And I mean, if the porn is the only indication, the porn is a lot is about that. One of the reasons I like Californication so much is because, um, even though the protagonist Hank Moody is this like oversexed horny motherfucker who's fails at all these other things in life, he's a really nice guy. He's a committed father. He's a writer. He thinks a lot. He's very analog in a digital world, but he always puts the woman before him. Always. Even when he has like random hookups all the time, which are like more than any rational human being would ever actually have. It makes for good fantasy, but it's not real. But the central theme that I love in it is that no matter who he's with, whether it's some random girl, surfer girl, or what, he's always putting the girl first. He's like, oh, do you like this music? Oh, do you like this guitar? Oh, do you like this? Oh, let's experience this, Yeah. Just go along with it ever because most guys don't really care. Most guys don't care. And then the women feel like that's what sex is and that's all there is. And then somewhere along the line, they demonize men, I think, because like men are just selfish. They're selfish in bed. They're selfish with their money. They're selfish with their attention. They can't keep their eyes on just me for 10 seconds. And then they end up man hating, you know? Yeah. So it's like, but I'm telling you, if you're the man, look, you can still be a specimen of beauty and have like 18-inch biceps and a 10-inch cock as long as you're with the right woman, by the way. Do a sprint. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, some people. I should probably stop talking now. The point of it is, on this great Valentine's Day, seek out to make others happy, and you will find love. I'm convinced of it. I think one of the reasons I was so happy when I woke up today wasn't because I got some last night, which I didn't. I spent a really tame evening night out with my kids, and we had fun and laughed and got to people watch the other people in Young Love and all that. It was including this really weird person with a yellow Cybertruck. Separate story there. Very odd. Anyway, and then we played cards. We played rummy, and I sent a picture of us playing rummy to my first ex-wife, the parent, the mother of my children. That was my Valentine's Day. And I actually had to miss Friday I'm in Love, which is the Cure, the golf-based yoga that they did on Friday night that I helped Madeline to name. And I missed out on that. I was really sad that I wasn't able to go hang out with my other friends. But I just my opinion is if you seek to learn about your own happiness, whether it's sexual, whether it's what you want out of life, that takes time, man. Do you care about being fit and having rock hard abs? Do you care about having a brain that, is filled with facts and figures and fantastic, languages? What is it that you value? What is it that makes you happy? Figure that out sexually and all the other stuff, and get a friend to help you figure it out. And it doesn't have to be a friend that you're fucking. It could be a friend, anyone. It could be your kid. It could be your parent. It could be somebody on Twitch. That's love. That's the beginning of love, in my opinion. When we say love, like capital L love, like love for all humanity, I think that's it. It's like we've got to help each other figure out how to be happy and how to find that for ourselves. There's a million people on YouTube who will tell you how to be happy. They will dictate to you the recipe for happiness. Get them bitches to bring you some cereal and pour it. Make sure they have your ice bath ready in 10 minutes. That ain't happiness. It never was. Not for anybody. I mean, if that's your idea of happiness, fine. It's like, I cannot believe men are watching this, particularly boys, and that is what they think is going to promote happiness and love. I mean, you know, yeah, you can't have a friend help you figure out the sex stuff. Although, you know what? You'd be surprised. I mean, here we are talking very openly about sex stuff, right? You'd be surprised how many people, if you get a relatively friendly relationship, like you could go out to dinner with a group and you could spontaneously kick up a discussion about sex. And if they're the kind of people that I would want to hang around with, which means they're like you, they're open about this stuff. There's no shame in it. They would talk about it with you without necessarily having the overtones of like, am I going to get some tonight? Which is probably the best place to talk about that. You know? Yeah. Want to be my friend? Yeah, hell yeah, of course I would. I mean, I'm trying to be as many people's friends as I can. I've gone through many phases. A lot of you guys, they'll tell you I got off the internet for a long time because I wanted to just be alone, and my best friend was my journal. If you don't have any other friend, get a journal, people. Yeah, it's a good note to end on. Let me show you. So this is I cannot strong. I'm gonna get. There's like certain people who are gonna call me like a journaling soy boy or whatever. You know what? Fuck you. I don't care. Don't make assumptions, Rob. See, I just violated the 4 agreements right there. So here's my journal. This is my best friend right here. And I've written some things in there that I'm not sure I want anyone ever to read, even after I die, positive and negative. The point is, if you can't find a friend, be your own friend first, and just start writing about it. You'll be surprised at how many. That's where this is coming from, by the way. This morning I woke up and I was like euphorically happy, and I was like, why am I so happy? And I just started breaking it down over coffee, and before I got on here, and I was like, hey, I'm going to talk about this. So I wasn't planning on streaming for whatever, an hour, 35 minutes. But start there. I mean, if you don't have anything else, just go do that. What makes you happy? What are you grateful for? All of that jazz. Yeah. Anyway, you can't write for shit. Well, you don't necessarily have to write it down. Just if you spend some time thinking about it, I think, I think you probably find the answer there. Um, yeah, 110 average heart rate. I was like an extended recovery ride. But I actually had a lot of fun, everybody. I do not regret that ride at all. My camera's a little weird. Oh boy. Looks like this is Toothless Rob here, checking in. Um, that's the end of my ride, my friends. Namaste. I'll go ahead and click the end ride thing. Oh, you guys know about this? You click on timeline, and then you can. I always do this. I always take a snapshot. So, Holly, do you do this? I take a snapshot because this is really the only thing on Strava I care to keep track of. It is recorded there in its own way, but sometimes it's nice having this part of it. You probably have your own method. 90-minute active recovery ride. Makes me hungry. Yeah. I mean, that was fun. I appreciate that. That was a good Bernie was fun to drive to ride with. All right, friends. That's gonna do it for me. My ultimate favorites list, which I'm creating. I am very confident that I will be streaming again uh sometime today, and it will be tech. Yeah, I said that. So I am going to occasionally stream some tech stuff, and today is one of those days. Um, because I need to clean up my dot files and I need to write a deployment script that I have already started, and I just want to finish it up as something I can do on stream. I need to do it anyway, so that's something I'm going to be doing. And then I'm going to be spending time with family for the rest of it. For reasons that I won't get into, I'm going to be spending an inordinate amount of time with my family the next little while. But then after that, I think I'm probably going to return to at least minimal tech streaming here and there. And today I plan on getting my old streaming setup fixed up today. So that's what I'll probably be doing. I'll probably be testing that throughout the rest of the day. It's just going to be little scripts here and there. I have talked to at least one person who is interested in learning tech, potentially online. So, kind of like how I was doing with Thina and I think with Val, what was her name before? So I do think I have another non-technical person who wants to get into tech. So I may start a series of that again. That doesn't always go well. People get into tech and then they realize they don't like it, and then they leave. Should we Celsi? Okay, let's rate. I haven't been rating lately, but that sounds good to me. My problem with rating is I'm too lazy to raid. Yeah. What am I on right now? Okay, so I have to go to Twitch.tv. I'm gonna like dox everything about me. You don't do tech? Well, there's nothing wrong with tech. Oh, Frack's on. Who else is on? I can't move the camera. Oh, you can't hear that. Can I just do can I do this? Can I do the raid a different way? I need a mod to help me figure out the raids because I don't like raiding because it just takes so much time. But I will try it today because Holly asked. Thank you for the raid, Holly. I know, and she raided me, so we just have to pass on the love. Pass on that love. How do I even raid from OBS? I know there's a way. I think I just do it from the command line. Go to the Twitch app, it's quicker. You know what? I was just looking for another way, but that's the way I always go to. I always go to the Twitch app to do that. I'm gonna do it from my phone so I don't dock stuff. Yeah. How's that? Hey, where is the Twitch app on my phone? I don't think I have it anymore. I think I got rid of it. I went through a period of like drought. Wait. Go look, if you're watching and you're on YouTube or something, go away. This is just old man figuring Twitch out. Oh, who is this person? Zoe ran music. Oh, I missed her. I forgot how much I like Twitch. Yeah, there's like good people on Twitch, particularly in the music scene. The music scene and the Zwift scene, there's like good people, as Polly's confirming. All right, so what are we doing here? We're gonna go raid stream manager, all 11 of you. You're like, what is up with this guy? Okay, where is it? I know it's here somewhere. Here it is. Okay, raid. Old man uses phone. All right. Holly wanted Frack is on. Frack is a good friend. Um, Wait. I have to get good at this. You know, I should do this while I'm still on the bike. That's what I should do next time. That's what I should do next time, right? We have Panto plays. We have Ali Mackham, Lead Out Sports, Marilini, Nicole. God, there's a lot of Zwifters today. Smokin', DQ, Phil Smith. Tom, is it a Zwifter? Sicknick? I think you meant Sicknick, right? I look, I know how to read. I just don't know how to read fast. I just don't know how to read. I don't do anything fast. Here, let's try this. I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna see if it works in here. It might actually work. Raid SELT ZIE. I'm gonna see if it works in here first. If it doesn't, I'll do it on the app. Okay. Senior infrastructure. Hey, D-Blair, what's up? How's the new workout plan? Really great, actually. But he's horrible. Raid Silsey. Wait, what's happening? What's happening now? Are you guys being shuttled off? I can't tell. I'm gonna try to tell right now. Yeah, Brack. Should I? Yeah, I like Brackala. What the frack? Ha ha! Did it not go? It did not go, did it? Okay, fine. I'm so sorry, you guys. I mean, try one more time. You're right. The app is so much better. It is. It is. It's like way better. And also, I'm getting hungry sitting here. This is why I don't do it. But this time I will. This time I will do it. I will do it for all 14 of you. Are they in Zwift? If they're not in Zwift, I'm not rating them. So they're. I have Sicknick, but I don't have Seltzy. I only have Brack. I only have Brack. I'm gonna rate Brack. Holly, I'm so sorry. I can't find them. What are they streaming? Wait. One more attempt because you've been so kind. You've been so kind. Oh, double cardio. Okay, Celsi. Yeah, we'll rate Celsi. Here we go. Ready, go. Yeah, we're gonna rate Celsi. I found Celsi. They're doing fitness and health. That's why I didn't find them. Yeah. Start raid. I already have a raid in progress. I feel like it went through. All 17. Let's go. Promote fitness and health and good sex on Valentine's Day. You're gonna have to say hi to Celsi for me. I am not gonna stick around. Please say hi for me, guys. I have to go for reasons. Because reasons. I just have to go.